Hello, 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 and welcome to this month's amazing lineup on the Her Version Impact panel. Her Version launched in January of 2021 and had its first guest speaker in April of the same year. Since then, the Her Version platform has been expanding rapidly with over 370 YouTube videos, over 85 female guest speakers, and over 60 impact panel guests. As of the month, we are also streaming across 10 podcast platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Pandora, to name a few. I am thrilled to have a female panel filled this month as we talk about the journey of being a single mom. Join us as we dive deep into our personal journeys and what we have created for ourselves in order to better our lives. For those of you that don't know me, I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. If you're new to this podcast, make sure you follow, like, subscribe, and share. Let's jump right in. The definition of what a single mom is and the duties of a single mom are often skewed. We all have our own perception of what motherhood felt like and looked like without a spouse. We are here to talk about the things that no one talks about, the real, the raw, and the vulnerable answers to taboo questions revolved around parenting as a single mom. Join us. Thank you so much, ladies, for hanging out with me and talking about this awesome topic. This is obviously probably so dear to all of us because it can be a whirlwind. It can be a real whirlwind. And depending on how long it has lasted or did last, it can cause some really awesome adventures and some heartache. So I would love for us to kind of go around and introduce ourselves. I would love to start with Maureen. If you could just introduce yourself, first name, kind of what you do, who you are, where you are, kids, and then we'll go with Susan, and then we'll go with Leanne, and then we'll jump in.
Perfect. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, my fellow beautiful ladies. I feel like we're on the Sesame Street divided boxes.
Yes.
And Leanne, I adore you, and this is in no way offensive, but one of these things does not belong. We don't have curly hair. So, but you're beautiful nonetheless. So, I am Maureen Scanlon. I am a certified life coach, speaker, and award-winning author. I specialize in relationships and finding your self-worth and the path to you. And I was a single parent of 3 children who are now adults, and I'm rehashing and now raising a grandchild. And I live in Phoenix, Mesa, Arizona, right outside of Phoenix.
Beautiful. Susan?
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm so glad to be here and be with all of you. And my name is Susan Comer, and I'm here in Louisville, Kentucky, originally from New York. I help single moms, right? I was a single mom and for about 6 years and raised 2 beautiful girls. I am here to now help single moms navigate through the legal and financial aspects by giving them resources that they can access to help them make better decisions. And I'm so glad to be here and contribute. Thank you.
Leanne.
Yes. Hi, ladies. Thanks, Maureen and Susan and Sabrina. Yes. Well, my hair is not curly because I actually dried it. Otherwise, I'd be matching. But yes, I am a single mom. I'm currently I live in California. I'm currently raising 2 boys. So if anybody has boys, they know. I know Sabrina does. So I coach single parents back into the dating world, how to navigate their life and how to co-parent. So I am a life coach for really anyone, but specifically single parents, because that dynamic, is, as we know, very challenging, and especially the co-parenting dynamic. I do really like focusing on that as well, because it is so important to the health of everyone's life, your children, yourself, and just, the fluidity of continuing with life.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much. For those of you listening live, thank you so much for coming on. I see we have quite a few joining us already Saturday morning. I so appreciate you being here. For those of you that are watching on the replay, please make sure you hashtag replay so that we know that you are here and that you are listening. We appreciate our panelists, and we appreciate all of you that stop in during our impact panels on our early Saturdays to hang out with us. Listen, we all can use some perspective in this area of motherhood just in general. So I encourage you to share this podcast. There are single mothers and mothers everywhere, and we appreciate sharing the message in which we speak. This is an active forum, so feel free to comment or ask questions, to have your questions pop up on the screen, and our ladies will be more than happy to give their advice. I would love to hand the floor off to Miss Maureen this morning and hear a little bit about what she has to say and her question, and we'll kind of go from there.
Fabulous. Thank you. I'm going to start with a little bit of statistics. So 25% of all children are in single parent households. That's 20 million kids in the United States that are in single parent households. That's a lot. That is really quite a bit. 75% of those homes of the single parents are of single mothers, which is approximately 15.5 million kids.
Wow.
So this is not the exception anymore. This is very, very, very common to be a single mom and to be a single parent. My question for you ladies is, what quality or characteristic do you think single moms provide that a two-parent household does not? And I'll start with whoever wants to start first.
Wait a minute. Repeat the question. That was a good question.
What quality or characteristic do single moms provide that two-parent households do not?
I mean, okay. So one of the things that I appreciated about, I have a tough time with this because I don't want to make it sound as if being a single mom is better than being in a relationship. So like, this is what came to my head, but I don't know like who would necessarily appreciate this, but I appreciated it because there's no argument in anything with disciplining, with rules. You're not having to like negotiate anything ever. So, I mean, one of the things that I totally appreciated is just like whatever I said goes all the time. And I never had to worry about, him doing it a different way or me not appreciating the discipline or the rules or silliness like that. And mine happened fairly young. My son was probably 9 months old when his father, I broke up with him, but then to get back at me, he just left the state. He's like, fine, if you don't want to be with me, then I'm completely out. So absolutely devastating financially, no child support, nothing. And I was so naive. I didn't even know what, like, I had to make it on my own. But him popping in every once in a while and critiquing me and all of that, I started to realize like, wow, thank goodness I'm doing this by myself, because I would hate to be in that dynamic. Now, that's not to say, obviously it works, it's weird for me to answer that, because it's like, well, then how do you work when you are in a married relationship? But that's one of the things that I appreciated about it.
I love it. Ladies, Leanne, what do you think? What's a quality or characteristic your child has that, a double parent household doesn't always instill, or maybe not even, maybe it is there, but it's not emphasized as much as being in a single parent household?
I think for me and for my kids, I do agree with Sabrina. There's no, you don't have to negotiate anything in your home, but we have a very active dynamic with their father in their home. So there is a negotiation going on, generally on my end. But I think the quality that my kids have is seeing their mother as a strong, powerful decision maker, someone that is a leader, someone that, can really take care of herself, call the shots, make the rules, have fun. We go skiing. I like, okay, it's today we're going to go to the bike track and we're going to do this. I mean, I get to kind of call the shots, but they see me being a strong, independent leader, which I think is, I don't know. I know I have a lot of friends that are in marriages and partner dynamics. And, they're both very strong people, but I think there's potentially a lot of moms out there who take on that stereotypical role as the caretaker and the one that says, well, whatever dad says we're going to do. So I feel like, I don't think it's better. I just think that, it's one of the takeaways that I think my children have experienced with me being a single parent.
Yeah.
Nice. Susan, how about you? Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Thank you. I agree with the comments that were just made as well, and I especially what Leanne was saying, because now the kids have my daughters had a role model of a strong mother, of a head of a household, and I talk about that. We're running a household and we're running a business, maybe also, or going to work. So they see us functioning and see, and one of my goals is to make everything very seamless. So I got a lot of things going on behind the scenes, but when we were together, the kids saw just what Leanne was saying, a strong, confident person, somebody who is taking the situation and making the best of it and enjoying life. I think the best thing is for them to see us happy and enjoying life and loving them. And I just felt like they get so much more love because it's always about loving these children, looking in their eyes, and they see that and feel that. And I think it just comes out more when it's just you, right? Because it's they're involved with us. And back to what Sabrina was saying, not that that's ideal. It's just what it is. They see you and they see you as loving all the time.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, Sabrina.
This actually just reminded me as everyone was speaking, I had a conversation with another single mom, another boy mom, probably about a year ago. And she said something very interesting that kind of stuck with me. And you guys just kind of brought it back up. She stated that she actually appreciated her situation because it was teaching her boys that you don't have to stay in a relationship that is toxic. So she's like, we live our best life, and they do. I mean, they travel, and their dad is active in their life also, but she is all about living her best life every day, all day, super positive, super optimistic. And she's like, I want to be a poster, like a role model for my kids, realizing that if they get into a relationship and they realize at some point that it's no longer serving them, that they can exit that relationship and they can still have greatness. So that's something that's also on us as far as being a single mom, is realizing like, oh my gosh, I am the example for my kids, to make them realize that there is life within a family dynamic, being together or being single, and you can still, be living your best life.
I agree. And I'm going to piggyback off of that. So I have two girls and a boy, and my son is 9 years younger than my oldest. So there was a big span. So it was really toward the end, it's mostly just my son and I. The qualities that I noticed in my kids that they had over their friends that had both their parents was the resilience, and the overcoming, also the problem solving. There was a lot of independence with my kids because I couldn't be there time wise. And I'm trying to pay the bills and I'm trying to take care of the household. So they had to figure out how to do a lot of things on their own. My son, who's now 23, I think the best thing that came from it is how he treats his girlfriend. He saw how his father treated me. He didn't like it. His father was disrespectful. Sabrina, sometimes fortunately the dad not being involved is better than having the dad involved, who, you know, Leanne works with people to co-parent. Sometimes one parent is just not willing to do it. And the only time I ever heard from him was when he would fight me on anything. My son is ADHD. He wouldn't give him his medication on visitation. You know, he wouldn't pick him up on time. He wouldn't give extra money for extracurricular activities. And so my son saw the way that his father not only treated me when, you know, because we got divorced when he was only 10 months old. So he never really saw us together. All he ever heard was the negative, disrespectful way his father talked about me. And the way he treats his girlfriend now, he credits the fact that he's like, yeah, because I was raised by a single mom. That's why I treat her like a queen. And so I think that's a quality that I hear a lot with men. A lot of my male clients, you know, will say I was raised by a single parent and it was my mom. And I think we did show them, you know what, women are equal. Women are equal, or I'm going to say it better, at managing life. You know, we really are. We multitask, and, you know, this is a new generation where we can do it all, and we do it all. And so I think there's this added thing that we've done as parents, and there are women that choose to, you know, be single parents.
Yeah.
They feel just like you, Sabrina, where they feel strong enough in who they are that they don't need that partner. They don't need that extra feedback or discipline. And I'm going to agree. It was nice that he wasn't very involved. If he would have stayed uninvolved when, you know, instead of only when he was being negative, it was the freedom of being able to make those choices. And I hate to say, you know, you don't want your children to not have that other parent, but it does make it a little bit easier when they're not as, when they're not engaging in conflict with you consistently with what you're doing. And so they're not contributing, but they're conflicting. So
Definitely.
So thank you, guys. Great answer.
Definitely.